Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to talk to you guys about something that I saw today on the PTR, patch 7.1.5, that I'm not only surprised that it's actually happening, but I'm also surprised that more people aren't talking about this, which is that Blizzard is going to be selling experience potions on the Blizzard store for real-life money. Apparently, I don't know if this is going to actually go live in 7.1.5, but it's definitely on the interface. As you guys can see, I'm on the PTR, and this is the Enduring Elixir of Wisdom. Now, you can buy one of these, or you can buy 5. I'm assuming there's like a bundling, like if you buy 5, it's slightly cheaper, and each of the potions lasts for an hour, it persists through death, and it lasts between levels 1 all the way up to level 100, so you don't really feel like you'd have to buy this to go through Legion content faster, but it's another alternative that I guess people can do if they don't want to buy the level 100 boost. So this is a really, really big deal in my mind, because it's the first time that you've ever been able to buy anything besides the 100 boost that's actually unique to the store and gives you an in-game advantage in a way that is like kind of, it affects your character's power, right? Like mounts and pets aren't really going to do much, but whenever you're able to level faster, that's a pretty big difference. And I also don't really think this is a coincidence whenever Blizzard has also been trying to, well, they're not been trying to, they're planning on changing the way that the WoW tokens work. Now, whenever the WoW tokens came out, I think everybody had the idea, why aren't they going to expand the idea of WoW tokens into server transfers, name changes, and basically any other type of Blizzard service? So basically, players who don't want to spend real life money can spend gold, and also players who do want to spend real life money to get gold, since there's already precedent for that happen with the WoW token anyway, why not just give them another avenue to do that? Everybody wins. Obviously, there are a lot of reasons why I don't really think this is a fundamentally good system, but in the world that we're in right now with the level 100 and level 90 or whatever boosts, it doesn't really come as a surprise that they're going to be making this jump. And also, it's really funny to me that this has actually been happening, because I remember I made a video, and this is a very controversial video, not compared to any of the new stuff I've ever done, but back in the day, I made a video, and it was like 5 microtransactions that should be added into WoW, right? And I had already come out and talked a lot about how much I hated microtransactions, as in the way that WoW had been doing them, but I said, hey, these are some ways that WoW could maybe add in microtransactions that would be more ethical, and also would, I think, be better off for the game in general. And I thought of the idea of like bundled server transfers. You want to transfer over like 10 characters, there was like a premium fee of like $100. And I think that I'll get right down to the point, is that the last point that I made is actually being able to buy Blizzard Store experience increasing elixirs. And here we are 2 years later, and I'm looking at it on the screen right now. And honestly, guys, of course, it's not like, oh, Blizzard's like, oh, Asmongold said that back in 2014, man, we got to go do it. But it's still pretty cool to see that happen. And I'm pretty happy to see this. I don't like the 100 boosts. I don't like them. I don't think they should be in the game. And at the same time, I don't really think that this should be in the game. This is not the way that I would want the game to be, right? But whenever you have the 100 boosts, and I don't really think they're going to be getting rid of them, I think that this is another way to basically, for them to make more money, for people who want to level to be able to do it a little bit faster. I don't really see any downside that this is going to create that the 100 boosts have not already created. So this is basically making things a little bit better in a system that's already something that I'm not really a big fan of in the first place. So I want everybody to understand that too. And now, some people, are like, I remember whenever the 100 boost came out, they didn't like that at all. And I think that this is actually a lot better than the 100 boost, because it allows players to basically like start their character and play through it instead of just buying a boost and being like given all these numbers and all these abilities. You have no idea what the fuck to do. You have all these talent points. You queue an LFR, do bottom DPS, and then you just get frustrated because you don't know how to play the class. And I think that having an accelerated leveling process is going to be a better way of handling people who want to level alts or something like that, rather than just giving them the 100 boost. So I do hope that whenever they add these into the game, if that's going to be 7.1.5 or 7.2, we don't really know yet. But as I said, I haven't heard anybody talking about this. I've heard people talking about the WoW tokens being able to be used in 7.1.5 as like kind of like a baseline BattleNet currency, and then you can use that on name changes changes and like race changes and server transfers and everything. I've heard plenty of that. That's awesome. I'm glad for that. But I haven't heard anything about this experience potion. And I think that honestly, guys, this is kind of a big deal, and especially for me, because I always do this. I did throw the suggestion out there nearly 3 years ago. So it's really cool to see things come full circle, and we're gonna have to see how this goes. I'm gonna be curious to see how much they're going to be. Right now, as you guys saw, it's just the test currency, but I have no doubt that it will probably be. I'm going to assume. I really hope it's probably going to be like $1 for a potion. I think probably going to be like $1. I hope it's only like $1. If it's more than that, I hope it's not more than that. Let me just go ahead and say that. I feel like the leveling process in WoW has been neglected to a very large degree. People focus completely on the end game. A lot of people like to level, right? And so giving people a way to do that in a little bit faster way, to where they don't have to necessarily do every single quest that they don't want to do, I don't really see like the negative downside to that, especially whenever there's already experience potions in the game. There's already the 100 boost. If they want to kind of remake everything from the ground up and make it to where you have to level up right from Elwyn Forest to Westfall to Duskwood and all the actually Red Ridge Mountains in between the two. I would love that more than any of this. But this is also something that I'm not necessarily okay with. But as I said, I think it's something that they probably should do, and that's why I suggested it almost 3 years ago. So again, guys, it's really cool to see it happen. Cool to see it on the screen. And anyway, I'm kind of curious to see what you guys have to think about this. Like whenever I first saw it, I was like, oh no. And then I thought like, well, this might not be as bad of an idea as I thought it was, because, I suggested it. And also, as I said, I've gone through all the reasons a number of times already in the video. So I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? At this point in the game, do you really think that Blizzard should add more stuff like this in there? As I said, I'm really glad that they're going to be adding, the new WoW tokens where you can just basically buy BattleNet balance, and I think that's going to open up a whole new avenue of possibilities for them, and I think it's just a general good idea. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got. As I said before, I'd love to hear your feedback and your opinions on this, but either way, thank you for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe.